Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Good evening.
And how are you all today?
You know, here and there, yes. Ah, today started off very well, and then it just found itself in a space. You study how you got to that space,
Hmm.
and you're still trying to work through some things. But at least today, I think I faced a fear that
Okay.
was causing me to bend and twist and twirl and try to make myself fit into some place or accommodate some place or so today I faced that fear. But today I guess is a good day. Yes, I'm still here. Mm-hmm. Yes, yes.
That is very important. Once you are still here. Anyone else? How was your week? Everybody had a good week? All right.
Hello.
We are
Hi,
good.
good evening.
Hi.
I do so.
Hi. I would say, I had a very challenging week. I feel like, sometimes I feel like you don't want to even relive it. You just want it to pass by and get over it. But it's just a lot of, I think, learning and relearning and really being able to put the things that we learn into practice. And sometimes that is a bit challenging, and at times you feel like you need that support factor. You need that somebody there who could kind of hold you accountable, and someone who could kind of reiterate things to you sometimes when you feel like you're losing it. So it's just, for me, it's just like it's just going through the motions and really trying to be grounded, be focused, be intentional. I think that's a big thing for me, like being intentional. Um, but like Catherine said, I'm still here today to tell the tale. So I guess that in itself speaks volume. So, but it's been a challenging week.
Yes, yes,
I
yes.
think for me is a question of just carrying the small wins right now. Just letting the small wins carry me through, and the larger ones, well, they will just have to remain what they are. If they're large, they're large. So Saturday morning, I didn't want to get up and go and walk, but I did it. So that's one on my list, and so I did it, and it was very enjoyable. And then as I was going out, the thought came, reverse your step. So I said, reverse my step. So I went on the road and I started to walk. And just when I was almost to the point where I would usually turn off, I remember the thought, reverse my step. I said, perhaps I should just go the other direction today. So if I would normally go left, go straight and then make the circle come in the other way. So I did that. It was easy and I enjoyed it. So the little wins. Last week Thursday was supposed to be the water aerobics, and when I made up my mind, I said I'm going in the water this time, this Tuesday for sure. And I brought my things down to the balance center. And then when I heard it, classes, the thought that crossed my mind, jump in the car fast and run home. The water looking cold in any case because it was raining, it was drizzling, I was go, go, go. But then I heard Adana say, I'm still going in the water. So, but I'm going, okay. Keep your word. At least let something stick to something and it will build into something. And I did go and it was wonderful. So next last Thursday of the month, you all are going to see me for sure. Yes. So those were two little things pertaining to my exercise routine, which I had started last year. I said this year it's on my list. I have to improve. I have to improve. It has to get better. And so far, I have stuck with it, even though sometimes I don't feel like doing it. And I have stuck with it. So I'm ticking that off as a small win for me. Small win, small win. So I am going to enjoy that small win.
Exercise is not something a lot of us enjoy. I don't enjoy it either. What makes me really commit to it is the persons who are there, the camaraderie, when you're there, the laughter, the conversations. That is what really keeps me doing it. Because if I have seen some persons who could get up and do it for themselves, I am not on that spectrum at all. Once I have to get up and do it for myself, it would be non existent. So, yes.
I just want fresh air. Once I could be out in the fresh air and I'm moving, it's good enough for me. Doing circuit training, it doesn't, unless you're doing it in the fresh air where the breeze is blowing your face, then I could do that. But once I get started, I could maintain unless I really fall off. But it was to get started and to know that it's okay. You're not going to pass out somewhere because I don't take my phone with me. I just have a stick for any errand dog and a bottle of water. So I go and I'm back in 30 minutes and I'm good to go. I'm ticking this twice in my win column.
Yeah. That's just it, It's really the effort. You see, once you just put the effort, everything else just kind of take care of itself. You really, really just have to put the effort into it. And everything really flows from effort. Because a lot of times, you're feeling stuck until it's just to get up, make up your mind, and move. And once you do that, things would be a lot different. Lestra, are you there?
Yes, Adana, I am.
And how are you?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. Thank God I'm blessed.
Okay. All right.
And night, Catherine.
Just checking. Just checking. That's all. All right. So, as we are talking about effort and just getting it done and, just making the next step, of course, tonight's topic, which is commitment before motivation. Because really and truly, if you don't commit to anything, you're not going to be motivated to do it. You really have to commit. You have to really make up your mind, no, I'm really going to do this thing. Because once you do, you would recognize that is where everything flows from. But what do you think hinders our commitment in a lot of instances?
I think they kind of go back to the same self doubt, fear. You don't want to be in that uncomfortable space and come out of your comfort. Because I mean, with exercise, with anything, you have to get out of that comfort zone. And I know exercise is one of the biggest challenges for me. To be able to sustain it and be consistent. So I think, yeah, so comfort, and just making that first step sometimes is the hardest.
Yes, that is certainly true. You have to make the first step. And again, that is where commitment would come in because you really have to commit to something before the motivation even comes. Catherine, I'm seeing that you have your hand raised.
Yes, I was going to say you have to be clear about your why. And if you're not clear, then You feel to do it today, tomorrow, you find an excuse, there's a good reason for you not to do it. Ooh, one of my eyelashes went into my eyes. You find a reason to not do it, to put it off. But when you have a firm why in front of you, when you're clear about what it is you're doing, I mean, let's be serious. It's about, I have had this down on my sheet since 2023. Improve your exercise, get up and exercise. And I would set these little short targets. By this time, you'll be this, because I'm not looking to be skinnier. I'm looking to be firmer and keep my flexibility and be able to move. And but each year passed, and I would listen to Donna say, "We're not going to be in the same spot again next year." And I would watch this thing, and December would be coming. I would say, "See, if you had gone on the road in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, Catherine, if you had at least start." But you didn't have a no. This time around, I say, "You know what? This is what this is for. This is what this is for. This is what that is for." And so you tell yourself now, do you want it badly enough? Is it important enough for you to make the effort? For you to give up the excuses, move from the comfort of your bed, get yourself, okay, most people go to walk at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm not going out there at 6 o'clock in the morning because where I'm walking, I live in a very quiet neighborhood. I don't think anybody will be looking outside, even if you're screaming your life away. So I go at a time which is comfortable for me. There are people moving around. Yes, the people moving around, their cars passing by. So there's a level of safety in it. So I've worked out that time and it's good for me. But to me, if you do not know why you want to do something, what is the end goal, then you will continue with your excuses. There'll always be an excuse why you didn't make the effort. So I think that is one of the reasons, might not be the only reason, but one of the reasons why we do not make the effort and we stay where we are.
And also, as Nicola, usually tends to let us know about the comfort and the uncomfortable feeling, because for a lot of us, you might be uncomfortable where you are, but that is all you know. So that's why you would tend to stay in that space. But then in that space, how can you grow? How can you expand? How can you really achieve the things, the goals that you would like to achieve? And that is why sometimes you stay in a loop for so long. Because a lot of times too, you're in the loop, you're not even aware that you're in the loop, you're just there. And you see, if you don't pause, you don't stop to reassess and to really, just as Katrin just explained, in terms of knowing the why behind everything, then you would just be in a cycle. And again, Nicola usually tells us about cycles and patterns. Nicola, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Can you let us know again about how the traps are in terms of the patterns that we tend to go in as it relates to psychology?
Sure. So, we actually, our brain actually wired to deal with patterns, right? So, what would tend to happen is even if you are not consciously aware, subconsciously you would fall back into a pattern. And I heard you say just now, sometimes what I would have realized is sometimes you don't need to know the why, you just need to know this is a change I would like to see, and this is what I am working towards. Because sometimes the why tends to, while the why sometimes is good to know, but sometimes it tend to regress instead of progress. So sometimes you just know there's a change I want to see, and this is what I need to do within me to see that result. All right, the why would have happened for whatever reason. So, and then sometimes you know the why. Sometimes in knowing the why too, it helps you to just identify the pattern. But usually we do function in patterns, and it tends to come as an automatic response as well. Because our body as well tends to hold trauma responses. So, for example, as soon as you hear, let's say, for example, you grew up in an environment with a lot of arguments. As soon as you hear someone shout, you would automatically within your body, even though you know you're not in any danger, you would automatically feel it within your body. So yeah, we do function in patterns.
Yeah. And even you see when you're in, say you're in a situation, circumstance, you're in whatever. Do you stay in it? And I will give you an example. Or do you find a solution? Are you solution oriented, or do you just accept I am here? There is no help for me. I cannot move forward. I cannot get out of this space. Because recently, what I noticed is that after exercising Tuesday and Thursday, usually when I get home, because exercise is from 7 to 8, and it would take me like half an hour to 45 minutes to get home. And by that time is almost 9 o'clock. And sometimes you eat bread or you eat food, which is not best, especially after exercising. And to me, it started to feel as though, Adana, you're exercising and you're wasting time, because by the time you get home to really eat something or nourish your body, it's late. And by the time you eat, you're tired. So you're going straight and sleep, which is also not best. And for those who can drink tea alone, that will not sustain me. My body will say, no, 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 no. What is happening here? So what I did was I found a solution. So in terms of, okay, this is something that is happening. Do you find a solution to it? Or do you just accept this is where I am? I cannot move forward. This is where I am. And the solution was I found a really good brand that does meal replacements. So yes, you would be using the meal replacement, but also you could incorporate like strawberries, whatever fruit you want to incorporate. You could also incorporate oats, and oats would hold you for a while. And the thing is, this particular meal replacement doesn't have a bad aftertaste, because I have bought one once from Price Mart and it smelled like, I don't know, for those of you all have ever smelled chicken feed, and it was horrible. It had a horrible aftertaste. It was really, really, really horrible. So in doing so, I said, okay, because I really want to make an adjustment, because you start to feel as though you're exercising, but then when you go home and you eat, it not making any sense at all. So it's like you're putting everything back on that you just exercise to get off. So in instances where you find yourself in a pickle, what do you do? Do you stay where you are, or are you committed to get out of it and find a solution?
This year I am committed to finding solutions. But sometimes what I found, like what I found out today, was the solution is just to speak your mind. Stop being afraid of what might happen, what could happen. Just speak how you feel. Speak up rather than this trying to be all things to all persons, which is not being your genuine self, and it's all good. Yes. Did I get upset? Yes, I was highly upset. And then I said afterwards, okay, fine. Upset is required. So don't don't beat about it, and because it was something that I'd been trying to avoid for quite some time. And it wasn't getting any better. In fact, it was getting, it was not getting any better. So today was a day for just, they always say, where you feel fear, walk towards it, because that is really where you need to be going. So today is what's occurred. So sometimes you have to find the solution may not be the prettiest that people think. When you find a solution, everything is honky dory. Sometimes the solution is just you being yourself and acknowledging when you've done your best. If this is your best, this is your best. and do not try to accommodate any other opinion that says you can do better,
Yeah.
because you know you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
So,
also, your solution right within your environment, most times.
mhm.
You don't really have to go outside of you. You don't have to get a second opinion. Your solution right within the environment. You don't have to frustrate yourself. How am I going to do this? Where? Nope. Because even with me and finding the replacement, it was right within the environment doing company work. So then you recognize all you have to do is know what you want. And everything else will find you. You don't even have to go anywhere and find it. You don't always have to, dig deep and fight up and create your own pathway. No. And even as Katrin also explained, if today the solution is to be angry, then okay, that is what the solution is. But the solution to whatever that you are looking for, sometimes all you have to do is be still and look around you, and the solution will present itself. Because too many times we think that this is a mountain. How am I going to get over this mountain? And you recognize, that wasn't even as bad as I thought it would have been. I handled that. I managed it way better, but it would only become way better if you continue to practice. Because once you don't practice, it's like your drive in 2002 and now in 2026, you're attempting to drive again.
Hmm.
It would certainly take some practice. So that is why you always have to ensure that you are practicing it. And would you all say that commitment would remove confusion and overthinking, or would it create more?
I think it removes the confusion, because what are you committing to? It's, to me, it's difficult to commit to something that is confused, because then what really you're committing to?
Yeah, are
So,
persons who are committed to confusion and overthinking.
yeah. Well, at least you know what you're committed to. You have to know what you're committed to. So if you're committed to being stuck in overthinking and overanalyzing, go for it. Go for it. You give it good effort. But you have to know what you're committing to. And once you're committed, then you tend to give it the effort, particularly if it's something that you really have a strong desire to experience, then you give the effort. Like somebody trying to get a car for the first time. I remember when I wanted to purchase my home, first one, and I didn't have the deposit. My stepfather promised to help me with it. Well, that went out the door, and the deadline was coming to pay the deposit, because you had to bid on the property, and then so they tell you how much you have to pay, and you come in and pay it. You had so many days to pay it. And I remember getting the assistance of a friend, and it wasn't a case of it was a case of, if you lend me this, and the thought came, go to this person, ask them to put forward the funds for you, and you will pay it back like a loan faithfully every month. You know you could make the payment, but you just didn't want to show that extra loan on the books for your credit ratio, whatever they call it in the banks. So, and don't just go and ask for this. Offer a little something, because you will be using their funds. So offer a little interest at the end of it. You could afford 5% interest or whatever. And the person was very, very agreeable. And then what came next? You had to be able to finance things. So what I did, Christmas was coming. I washed my curtains in my apartment, hung them right back up, closed the door, and went to my mother's house for Christmas. I didn't have to entertain. I didn't have to do anything. And so watch your finances, and you make sure you're walking towards what it is you want. So when you're when you're committed to really achieving something. You get the thoughts and you follow the thoughts, and once you follow it, and you actually, the plan actually unfolds right in front of you. How you're supposed to go, what to do next, and all you have to do is stick with it. Once you waver, this might not happen, this might not happen. Even when I didn't have the deposit for the house, and the issue was going on with my stepfather at the time, and I still didn't waver. I knew that house was going to be mine. I want that house, and I wanted to live in that neighborhood, and I wanted to be there. And so thoughts of who to call just came. And even the person who assisted me, when I called them, I couldn't even get hold of them. Not cell phones in those days. And by the time I got hold of them, they returned my call and said, well, I just came back from Tobago. I went to pay for a piece of land. And I'm saying, if you pay for land, you don't have any extra money. And then it all just come, tell your sad story in any case, Gil. You just, this is what you wanted to talk about it. Whether he had money extra, whether he didn't have money extra. And when I was finished, he said, but you don't have a problem. I could call my banker tomorrow. You are sure you are going to give me the money? You will be paying the loan? Okay, I'll pass it through my overdraft. And it was like that. I said, but the deadline is Friday. He said, would they turn away your money if you come on Monday? Call him and tell him you're coming on Monday. And that happened, and there it was. We got the home. So you you really have to know what you want and stick with it. We always told, keep your focus. Keep your focus. Know what you want and keep your focus. And it worked in my earlier days, and I don't know why I waver these days. Confession, good for the soul. I don't know why I
Because
waver.
even when you look at children, when children want something, they are unwavering, they are unmoving. But yet, when we want something, we are more, well, if I get it, I get it. And you're kind of half hearted it, you're hoping that you get it. And just as we learned during the week in terms of willing it, you can't really will it. You really have to make the effort, because even I have nephews and even cousins, children and stuff. When they want something, they will sing that song over and over and over and over until that thing appear. They don't even care who it comes from, and that is another thing. We always trying to control how it happens, where it happens. You want it to be this particular way. Children don't care if the aunt bring it, the uncle bring it, a neighbor bring it, a teacher bring it. They don't care what it come from. All they know is that I want this, and I am telling everybody that I meet that I want this. And whoever is the first person to bring the this to me, I am happy, and I will dance when I receive it, because that is what children do. But we always trying to control how it should come, and if it not wrapped this particular way, then this is not what it is, and it's not supposed to look like that. And in doing so, what we do, we run ourselves out of the opportunity, because you already make up your mind what it's supposed to look like. So you don't leave yourself open. So even if it appears like an apple and you really wanted an orange, because it appears a particular way, you miss the whole opportunity because you didn't leave yourself open to receive whatever it was. And even when I was making groceries last week, I heard, pass by Massey. And I was like, pass by Massey for what? So I remember I have a Massey close to where we are. So I went to the Massey, you're just walking around, you're not looking for anything in particular. And then you saw where some veggie sausages that you usually use, they were on sale. And the price you would have paid for one, so it's like you bought one and you got one free. And again, if you remain stuck in your pattern, or whatever your pattern is, after work, I just go home or whatever it is, and you don't leave yourself open, then you would never really get to experience everything, because remember, your soul that connected to everything knows where everything is. But if you keep blocking the process and you're not leaving yourself open to receive, then you would block all the opportunities that are attempting to come your way. So, whereas, yes, I know that, okay, I really needed to get this thing. You didn't even put it out, but then the thought came, go to this place. So you follow the instructions, you went to the place, and then you realize, that is why I was supposed to come here. You know? And even as Nicola was talking about, the psychology behind following through and consistency, you recognize that. And even as Catherine was saying, so you really need to know where you're going. What do you want? Where you're going? What do you want to achieve? But if you keep sticking to whatever your old pattern is, you would never, never, never move from where you are. I would have gone to somewhere else and paid for each pack of sausage individually instead of buying one and getting another one half off. And another thing that happened to me too, again, another thought, following a thought, end up by peppercorns. Went to peppercorns and they had this sausage on sale again because I don't eat meat, so it's a lot of veggie stuff. But plant based. So really, when it's going to expire, to me, it's neither here nor there because it's plant based stuff. And when I reached up by the counter, I think it was a Friday. They said this expiring, I think, was in 2 days or 3 days. And I was like, I'll give you it for $20. This was $260 something. And I said I'd give you it for $20 because it was expiring in like 2 or 3 days. If you don't follow the thought, then what you're really doing? Because remember, I remember once an aunt told me the world would step aside for anyone who knows where they're going. And you would see it unfolding. But really, if you don't know where you're going, you don't know what you want, then there is nothing to receive because you would stick within your pattern, block every opportunity, and then you're uncomfortable, but yet you would stay there because you don't know anything else, because you're blocking yourself off from ever experiencing anything else. You really have to open yourself up. Know what you want, even though what you might be hearing make no sense in terms of go by Massey. I say go by Massey for what? Or even pass by peppercorns today. And you would always get something that you really wanted. But if you don't do that, you would keep blocking yourself off. Yes, Catherine, I'm seeing that you have your hand raised.
As you were speaking, Dana, what came to me like this morning with reverse your steps. Sometimes, as I was walking in the opposite direction, well, of course, I did not want to walk with the traffic behind my back, cars behind my back. But I remember that if you get to a particular point, on the other side, there's a pavement that goes right along. So my goal was to cross the road and get to the pavement. And one of the things that came to me, and as you were speaking there just now about the opportunities, you'll be blocking the opportunities. Sometimes you are not meant to know what the opportunity was. There could have been something that I was not to experience going in the other direction, the regular direction. And that came to me as I was on the street because I was saying, well, I have to go in this direction. I like to be, when I come on this side, I can start motoring along and my face facing the sun. And I like to face the sun because it's so nice on my skin. And da, 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 da. But then the thought came, there may be something that you are not to experience. And if you go the normal way, you'll have the opportunity to experience what you should not experience so that you can always tell everybody, and my mind to tell me. So I followed the little thought that came, reverse your steps. So when you were talking about you might miss the opportunity, sometimes the opportunity may not be something that you could put your finger on, but it is the space that keeps you safe where you did not need to experience something. But if you don't follow go with the what has come to you, what is your own intuition, what is talking to you, self-talking to self, then you will have opportunities that you should not have had. So that is what came to me as you were speaking there just now. Sometimes you cannot identify the opportunity, but you have to know that this was for the best,
Yes.
because I went in the opposite direction and nothing happened to me. So yeah, nothing happened to me. So I said, perhaps if I had not, because just as I was approaching the spot, a thought came to me before I left the house, and I didn't really pay it much mind. And as I was approaching the turn left spot, and I looked up, it came back again. I said, oh, I'm
Mm-hmm.
aware this thought had come back. And so it must have come back for a reason.
Yeah.
So I didn't really want to go straight there and tell the truth. Confession is good for the soul. But I said, all right, let me go
Yeah.
this way. But I don't want to be walking on my back for any traffic because the people really speed there.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was the other side of the road, pavement. Good, I could face the oncoming traffic. And when I made the full circle and I was coming back where the left turn would usually be, guess what I had? Sunshine on my face.
Yeah.
See, so I had everything. But
Yes.
sometimes you just have to follow. Otherwise, the following gives us other experiences that we
Mm-hmm.
will be guided not to have.
Yeah. Yes. 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 Even a conversation I was having with a aunt today, and she was saying that, well, she serves in the church that she attends to, and there's like 2 to 3 occasions where she leaving and she looking at her gown, and she was like, no, this person scheduled to serve, and every time she reached the church, the person is not there. And even on one instance, her granddaughter reminded her, Grandma, you're carrying your gown today. And she said, no, I not supposed to serve today. And as she reached, they calling her to the back to assist. And again, guys, all everything that you want coming to meet you wherever you are. But where are you? Are you present to receive, or are you stuck within your old pattern so you cannot see what is currently happening to you? Think about it. Are you present to receive, or are you stuck in your old patterns wondering why you're experiencing the same things? You have a new job, same experience. You meet a new person, same person you're experiencing. Are you stuck in old patterns? How are you going to get yourself out of there? Or are you just going to keep experiencing the same things over and over and over and over again? So, really, really think deeply, deeply, deeply about it. And how can we really commit without burnout or pressure? Because a lot of us tend to feel a lot of pressure towards commitment. But why do you think that is? Mr. SGL, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good evening, everyone. How you
Hello.
all been?
Very good, very good.
Yeah,
So,
I'm just
as it
listening.
relates to burnout, why do you think that we pressure ourselves to commit? And how can we commit really without burnout or pressure?
I think someone was talking about burnt out or the pressure we feel. I feel like sometimes when we commit, we at the same time overcommit. I think, and it's hard for me to say that because I'm still learning. It's not like I have the cure. I know about the cure, but I think I'm still taking small doses.
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes we are so committed to something and we forget to commit to ourselves and to our well-being. I think it's a great thing to be committed, right? Because it speaks about who we are, our integrity, being a person of honor and of our word, and not but, and at the same time, I think we should also think about what does that mean to love ourselves and to care for ourselves. As I'm saying this, I'm very cognizant of the fact that this morning I felt it. I was still in bed and I'm like, okay, I don't play the lottery, but this would be the great time to win the lottery, right? Then I wouldn't go to work. At the same time, I'm very mindful. Yes, I could have called my director and say, hey, I'm taking a self-care day today. I'm not coming in. It does help that I am committed to my job. Like I really love what I'm doing and the people that I'm doing it with and our clientele, which is community. That does help. And I could also say that if it was my previous position, I'd probably be like, yeah, I'm not gonna show up today. So again, it to me it's about balance and to make sure that we are cognizant that we need to come into ourselves.
Mhm.
And yes, committing to ourselves could also mean sometimes you do go to the job because you don't want to get fired. And in order to take care of you and your loved ones, you gotta do it. But have that exercise anyways, right? Even though you may not be able to push on it, how do you analyze it? How are you being intentional about what you do and why you do it and how you go about it? So I'll stop here for now.
Yeah. Because a lot of times what we tend to do is we commit to perfection and instead of committing to doing our best in the moment. Think about it. A lot of times you commit to perfection instead of simply doing your best in whatever moment that you are in.
And what does that perfection means? What does perfection really means,
It's
right?
based on the individual. So again, you perfection really based on an expectation. So I am committing to this only if it look like this. You're not committing to it because, okay, I am committing to exercise. I am committing to exercise with these particular things. I want to go to this particular gym, or even as Catherine said, I don't want to pass this particular face, the sun not on my face. I don't want to pass this particular place because this not looking like this. I want this particular exercise outfit. You commit to perfection. You didn't really commit to whatever the activity is, whatever the task is. Because even if you say, I am committed to exercise, I don't have the best shoes, I don't have the whatever, I don't have the gym as yet, I am going and walk. You understand the difference? So sometimes what we do, we really commit to an ideal or commit to whatever we think it should look like instead of simply starting where you are as you are. And that is really where the commitment is coming. Start because a lot of times we don't like to start ugly, but a lot of times in life, even the children, whenever they start and whatever, they could now be starting to learn to walk, to ride a bike. They have no pressure, they're learning, they're having fun, and half the days they would cry when they fall a little too hard. But at the end of the day, they are going to start again tomorrow. They are going to attempt again tomorrow. And again, if we really just pause to really look at how the children, how they approach things, we would really learn a lot. And a lot of times we overlook them because we're thinking that they're young, they don't really have a lot of experiences. But when you really look at their approach to life without any expectations and they are just free, a lot of things would be very, very, very different. A lot of things would be very different. And sometimes you just have to start wherever you are as you are. You don't have the best, you don't need to have the best. You don't have whatever is this particular thing. You could just start and you would get the particular thing on the way. But it is important that we just commit and start because there is a lot of things. You have your resolutions list. There is a lot of things that are not perfect on the list that you're waiting to be perfect before you start it. Think about all the things you're waiting for the perfect environment, the perfect weather, the perfect all kind of thing to start it instead of just starting where you are. There is a lot of things. And you really have to just release it and start. Because as soon as you release it and start, you would see all the steps to move forward would start to reveal themselves. And you would say, what? I wait so long to do this for again? But you really have to start where you are, as you are. Just commit and start. Just commit and really, really start. Yes, Catherine, I'm seeing that you have your hand raised.
I think another reason why we don't start is because when we look around, we, as you were saying, you're already looking for perfection. And the perfection, the standard of perfection, we got it from looking at other people.
Yeah.
So we compare ourselves to what other people have. And they have the fanciest gym clothes. They have 25 degrees, but I can't start because I only have 5 subjects. And we compare, and in comparing, you will always find a reason not to do it, because I think it's the desiderata that talks about there will always be somebody greater or lesser than yourself. And even that is a judgment call that you will still be making, because you'll be comparing yourself in some space. So sometimes we just have to say, you know what, this is my best. And really just give up, because for me, I know I will, let me see. Would I like to say I probably graduated, or I'm graduating out of the Perfection University? For me, if it wasn't perfect, it was not getting done. And if it was not getting done, then I would still agonize over the fact that it should get done, but it should be perfect. It must be perfect. And it must be perfect, and I must be perfect. And thank God to be fitment, I am a little bit further out the door of that university. See? But because it's really like a trap. You put yourself in a prison. This thing about being perfect and things happen to be perfect, you put yourself in a prison, a well constructed metallic prison. So you can't even take 2 stones and knock down the bricks. It's metal you're dealing with. And the bars tight, 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 tight together. You could barely get oxygen coming through. So perfection for me was always a problem. And I'm working on it. I continue to work on it. But it comes from comparing yourself to others and seeing yourself either never you see yourself as good as.
Yeah.
You always see yourself less. And therefore, if you could only get to this shining gold thing that you have in your mind. So it's really what you were saying. You're committing to perfection, and that's why we can't start. But starting like Thursday night with the things to go in the pool, I was like, I don't have any pool there and all this thing. I'm rubbish in my drawer. I say I go in. Whatever it is, I'm putting it on and I'm going. It is me and the water. And I had a wonderful time. My muscles were actually sore the next day, and tell the truth. Mm, I don't think I was meant to do all of that. But it was fun. But you have to just start. Once you're committed, you'll get the motivation to start. And that's the case for me. So I have some other things I'm working on.
Mm-hmm.
My Adana will be able to say at least she got some things off her list this year. We will not carry them from
No,
24,
no,
22,
no,
23,
not carrying them at all.
26.
So,
God, he's a snake.
and you would recognize too that once you start to commit to things, you would start to trust yourself, because also that is another aspect that we don't really pay attention to. We don't trust ourselves enough to make whatever it is happen. We tend to second guess and doubt, and of course overthink instead of just starting. And even when you look at children, if they want to do a particular activity, if they want to now learn how to ride a bike, sometimes the parent would want to make sure they have on a helmet, shoes, this, that. And given the opportunity, that child going barefooted, helmetless, to try for the first time. They are never waiting on the perfect opportunity to try anything. No, they just go however they are. Sometimes you have to call them back to let them know you're not prepared. You're not, you don't have the proper tools. You need this, you need this, you need this, you need this. And sometimes that is really what you need to start. Just start. And after you start, you would really start to trust yourself. And then in doing so, a lot of other things will start to open up. And you wouldn't have as much self doubt when it relates to trying new things. And try something new for 2026. When was the last time you tried something new? Think about it. When was the last time you tried? And I don't mean something to eat or no. Try something new the whole of 2026. When was the last time you went to the movies by yourself? When was the last time you read a book? When was the last time you met new people? Try something new for 2026. Even if you might be thinking about safety, send somebody a location. Let somebody know where you are. Or you never went on a hike. You always wanted to go on a hike. You always wanted to travel to this particular country. Try something new. You always wanted to learn how to play this particular instrument. What is something new that you always wanted to do? Anastasia, are you there?
Yes, I am. Good night.
Good night. What is something new that you always wanted to do?
Learn to swim.
You see? You have something to work towards in 2026.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it too. Looking forward to starting.
Yes, just start. And let me tell you, I live close to the beach. I am telling you all less than 5 minutes. And I learned how to float a few years ago. I did not know how to float. People would always say, Adana, just relax on the water. And I was like, listen to me. If you relax on the water, you're going to sink and drown. That's not making no sense. And that was the only explanation people would give me. Just relax on the water. That song like drowning to me. So once I went to the beach, I remember it was a Republic Day, and I was with my niece, and she taught me how to float. I am a lot older than her, but I'm telling you, I did not know how to float. And the explanation that people were giving me did not make any sense at all. None whatsoever. None. None. I remember once a friend and all tried to help me and she said, Dana, you're stiff like board. And once you're stiff like board, you're going to sink. Which I did. So you really have to relax and allow your body to really relax. And then you would really kind of rise to the surface. But if you stay like this, you are going to sink. Trust me. So that is just to show you really have to leave yourself open to experience new things. And Anastasia, I did. I was open after years of trying. Years. And many people tried, trust me, to assist me with floating. Yes, Katrina, I'm seeing that you have your hand raised.
Anastasia girl, I'm backing you in your corner. You see this floating thing? I always used to feel it. Particularly, I don't like pools because they don't have the buoyancy of the sea. But going in the sea, I always felt that if I go to float, I would wake up and I will realize I'll be in the middle of the Atlantic. And then I wouldn't be able to get back to land because I would have floated away. Until one day, a wise lady said to me that she put it in the context of life. And that if you keep fighting against life, the way you want to have things your way, you always want to be in control of every single thing, you will not have a pleasant journey through life because you will always be tense and fighting up, and you're not, as we were talking about earlier, not open to opportunities, you're not opening yourself to anything. And I was listening and I said to myself, and she used the example of floating in the sea, that you have to let go and let the water do what it can do for you. It will keep you up, but you have to become one with it. And I said to myself, the next time I go to the beach, I will try this thing. In between, I was fortunate. All of a sudden, I started seeing videos on how to float. The phone always kind of spying how to float, that you must keep your hands under the water. As soon as your hands come above, you will start to sink. And so I went out there and I did it for about 2 minutes. 2 minutes. And it worked. I said, oh, this is what it is all about. Okay, fine. I will give up the need for control and I will try maybe a little longer. So before I went out the water again, I gave a little 2 minutes more and I said, okay, fine. It took me about 3 more visits to the sea before I said I'll try that again because I was still holding it into my mind that I don't want to float off into the Atlantic. So ever so often I would put my feet back down and look around to make sure that I hadn't gone somewhere that I shouldn't. But it was only when she put it in the context of life. If you keep fighting up everything, you want to have it your way, you must be in control of that, every single thing. You will not be able to appreciate or enjoy the fullness of what the universe has for you. And that is when I even decided to even try to float, just to even try it. I am not an expert, but I will keep watching the videos.
Yes, yes, yes. You really, really have to make the first step. And make the first step just as you are. It is not about perfection. If you commit to it wholeheartedly and get it done. You know? 2026 motto: commit to it wholeheartedly and get it done, because that is the only way we really going to achieve the things that we want to achieve. Because if we keep, yes, I'll do it next week turns into 2028, and we have all seen the results of it. So, guys, commitment first, and then the motivation will come. And I really hope and to see some of you already tick some of the things that you have on your whatever list that you have off, especially this year. This is the year to tick some things off that list, and get some new things. This is the year. All the old things from whenever, it's time to complete them and get some new things for 2020. So you complete it, let me say by the end of the year, 2027, we have a brand new list. You might be going to the moon in 2027. You never know. It's really time to put the stuff in place, to get the stuff, to get whatever it is outstanding. And the things that you have outstanding, it's outstanding for the past 5 years. Some of these things, if you just focus, it could be for 2 weeks, you could get these things done. If you just maintain your focus for a short, sometimes you're thinking it's 2 weeks, it might be 2 hours. And you could get it done. It is time to cross some things off your list and get an entire new list. You're looking at these same old things, and these same old things looking at you like I'm still here. What you going to do about me? Come on, come on, come on, guys. It is time to wake up. It is really, really time to wake up. Lace up your shoes and really start to get things done. And before I let you know what the schedule is for this week, does anybody have any questions? All right. And also, I would like to let you all just to be aware of something. In both of the groups, the fitness and the Be Fitman family groups, now you would see that you have weekly challenges, and we usually drop them on a Sunday. So please pay attention to be part of it. I know for the first 2 weeks in the Be Fit, and for persons who would like to be part of the Be Fit group to be able to be part of the challenge, you could message us at 3361809 and we could add you to the group. So the first week was no sugar, and it was a bit trying. The second week was no fried food. So for all the persons who love doubles and fries and all of that, it was a bit trying, but you're really seeing the benefits of it. And then for this week is um you're adding veggies to every meal that you have. Fruits or vegetables to every meal that you have. And then in the B fit, I know for the first week it was no negative talk about yourself, and then the second week was no negative talk at all. And then this week it is about peace. So no disagreements, pause before responding, choose calm communication, walk away if emotions rise. So just be mindful of it and look out for it every Sunday and put it into practice during the week. It would definitely also help you. So let me let you all know what is the topics for this upcoming week. All right. So today, of course, we had commitment before motivation. Then on Tuesday, the 3rd of February, we have counseling and consultations from 10. And then from 6, we would be looking at the self. No compromise, no negotiation. Self negotiation erodes trust while consistency fails. Then on Wednesday from 10 a.m., we would be looking at counseling and consultations. And from 6, we would be looking at commitment to personal and professional, establishing identity based above task based mindset. Then on Thursday, counseling and consultations again from 6. We would be looking at becoming someone you can rely on, building integrity, leadership, and personal power. And then from 7, of course, we have our Be Fit, Fuel, and Flex full body workout sessions. Then on Friday, we have counseling and consultations again. And from 3, we have Free to Be. Saturday, of course, we start off with consultations and counseling. And then from 3 p.m., we would be closed. If you are interested to join any of these sessions, please feel free to WhatsApp us at 868-336-1809. And also, if you're still unsure and you would just like to um, a sneak peek, you have the 7 days that you could also sign up for. You could WhatsApp us at 336-1809, 7 days, and we would take it from there. And of course, remember, befitment really is about you. It is a lifestyle. It is showing you that there is a different way to live. And again, all you have to do is put simple practices in place in order to support it. And once you do that, you would recognize that the life that you would like to have was right there all along, and you were just not aware of it. So, guys, have a wonderful, wonderful night. Have a wonderful week. And I will see you all. Yeah. No, I just double checking for Carnival. Yes, I would see you all here next week. The week after, though, yes, I will not see you on the 16th. Yes. But I would see you all back here on Monday. Remember the challenges. Remember to practice them. Remember the challenges. All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Good
Good night.
night.
Good night.